Hi everybody, welcome. I'm your host, Binary Mouse, and we have another truly fantastic story to share with you. Our special guest storyteller will carry us beyond the edge of our imaginations into a digital fantasy land built especially for you. Watch, listen, and enjoy!
One day when this hero was still a boy, his father came into the room where he was studying and said, "My son, I see that you study well, but I wish to know if your wits are also sharp. So I have a challenge. I am standing now here in this room. Can you make me leave the room using only your words?" The boy thought for a moment and sadly shook his head. "No, father. Since you are already in the room, how can I make you leave it? That is impossible. However, if you were standing outside the room, I think that I could make you come in using my words." Wishing to give his son another chance, the father walked out of the room and spoke. "Now try to make me come in." "I don't need to, father," said the boy with a laugh, "for I already did what you first asked me to do. I made you leave this room, didn't I?" Our last story is about another, rather strange trick that taught a lesson. The Lazy Man. Long ago, when tigers smoked long pipes, there was a very, very, very lazy man. He was so lazy that his wife put food in his mouth with her chopsticks. He was so lazy that he only slept and ate and slept again. When he was awake for a little while, he loved to watch his wife and children work, but he hated to do anything for himself. This made it very difficult for his family. His wife gently urged him to work a bit from time to time, but he only yawned and told her not to bother him. Then one year the crops failed, and his wife pleaded with him. "My husband, you must help us. If you don't work, We will soon have no food." "Oh, you talk too much," he said, closing his eyes. "You make me tired. Quiet while I rest." And he took another nap. But he also decided to leave that house and the threat of work, and to find a peaceful place where he could just sleep and sleep. So in the afternoon, when his wife was in the field, he left the house, taking with him a bundle of the cloth she had woven. He slowly walked on until he came to a hut on a ridge. There he stopped for some water and found an old man carving wood. "What are you making?" he asked. A mask of an ox," replied the old man. "What is it for?" "Oh, I'll find a use," said the mask maker. Everyone in the world has some use." "Not me," bragged the man. "I'm lazy day and night." "Oh, you are in luck then," the old man said, "for this mask will bring much good fortune when worn by a truly lazy man." "Well, that would be me," said the man, since he could always use good fortune, especially if he didn't have to work for it. So he put on the mask, and it fit. It fit so perfectly that it felt like a second skin. A skin, though, with ox hair and the smell of an ox. It frightened him, and he tried to pull it off, but the mask stayed on, squeezing his face, changing it into that of an ox. Then the old man picked up an oxhide from the floor and threw it on him. That stuck too, and his back started to bend over. His arms grew stiff and reached down to the ground. Just then a tail sprouted. He realized with horror that he had turned into an ox. "Help!" He tried to cry, but only the sound of an ox came out. Quickly the old man put a rope around his neck and led him to the village, where he was sold to a farmer. "Be careful," warned the old man. "This ox is peculiar. Don't let him eat a radish, for if he does, he will die." The farmer pulled the ox. The young man refused to move. He stood there. Then he felt suddenly a sharp whip fall on his back. He cried in pain, but it was only the bellow of an ox. No one listened. So he learned to go when the farmer said go. And he learned to work hard, very hard. He was up before the sun rose, busy plowing and carrying heavy loads until long after the sun set. He worked and worked for days, weeks, and months. And at night in the stable, his body ached and his heart cried for his family and home. Finally, one night, exhausted and desperate, he knew that he could not live much longer as an ox. And all of a sudden, he remembered the old man's warning about radishes. "Ah, that's what I'll do. I'll eat a radish," thought the oxman. "Then I'll have the peace and rest of death." The next morning, on his way to the field, he saw a radish near the path. Quickly, he pulled it up and gulped it down, eager to die. But he did not die. Instead, he found himself slowly standing up. He felt his ox face fall away from him and turn back to wood. Then his tail dropped off. He looked down and saw human skin once again on his arms. He also saw a most astonished farmer standing with his mouth open, staring at what used to be his ox. The young man explained everything and walked happily away as the farmer, shaking his head in wonder, went off to buy a new ox. Like a dragon, the young man raced home now. As he passed the ridge, he searched for the old man's house, but it was gone. Instead, he saw the bundle of cloth that he had taken so long ago. He picked it up and hurried on. His family was overjoyed to see him again, for they thought him long dead. The neighbors, when they heard his tale, said that the old man was really a fox who vanished after he played his trick. From then on, the man worked very hard for his family, bringing great good fortune, just as the old fox had promised. On the wall, the man hung the ox mask, and whenever he felt even a little bit lazy, he just looked at the mask and went right back